little boys. We got some women folk in the choir. What is making some great big white angel wings. You know what I'm talking about? Them big old white angel wings. And he said, when the big night comes, they're going to take them two little boys back there behind the choir loft in the cloakroom. And they're going to wrap them up in some white bed sheets. And they're going to strap them white angel wings on their backs, you know. And they're going to give each one of them little boys a candle and a book of matches. And said these candelagers are going to be in the choir loft, right behind the choir. And they're going to have candles all in them. And said one of the deacons is going to be over there on the dimmer thing. And said, when the choir gets in, said, the choir's going to be up there. And said, them little boys is going to be back there in the cloakroom. And they going to come out, and they going to light their candle with their book of matches. And then they going to take their candle, and they going to get up there behind the choir loft, and they going to light every one of them candles in the candelabers with their candle. And while they doing that, that Dickens is over there is going to be turning down the lights. And when all them candles get lit up there in that candelabers, we're going to be left a-singing by candlelight. I ain't never heard tell of such a going on in a church house. Have y'all? No. And I'm pretty quick sometimes, you know. And I looked at the preacher and I said, well, preacher, I don't reckon there's anything wrong with that. Less than you was to set the church apart. Then I told him, I said, preacher, if I used to set the church afire, would you call that holy smoke? He didn't crack a smile. Didn't think that was funny a bit. Well, I told him I didn't think that was too bad. And so I reckon I would help him spread the word around about the Christmas cantata. Well, y'all, I did not need to help him spread no word around. He had done put it in our weekly paper 3 times. And I'm talking about the Sunday night before Christmas. We was going to have that great big program. Now, on Saturday night, it blowed in a cold wind up there in them hills. It commenced to freeze up there in them mountains. We called off that Sunday morning service anyhow, because we was getting ready for that great big program at night. It's getting close to Sunday evening service, you know. And I went to the door, and that wind was blowing so hard, it just whipped that door right out of my hand. So I told my wife, I said, they ain't going to be no light at that church house tonight. It's too cold, and this wind is too bad. That old boy is going to be disappointed. I said, but since we don't live too far, I said, we'll just go on over there and try to make him feel a little better. We'll be right on back by the fire in just a few minutes, you know. Well, we walked over there, y'all, and we looked down in that churchyard. You would not believe all the trucks and the wagons, what was in that churchyard. Y'all, everybody in them mountains was coming to see what that Christmas cantata thing was all about. Yeah. Y'all, somebody had done got down in the church house about 3:30 and stoked up a big fire in the potbelly stove, you know, to knock the chill off the air. Well, when everybody got packed in that church, Y'all, it was warm in there. Ooh, I'm telling you. We had to go back there in the cloakroom and bring out that box of funeral home parlor fans. You know what I'm talking about? From Love Brothers Funeral Home. Got the picture of the Lord on the front, knocking on the door. You turn it around on the back, you know, they on a stick. You turn it around on the back and it says Love Brothers Funeral Home. Free pickup and delivery. You know, I was sitting there, you know, and we was waiting for that program to get started. And I felt this here brush of cold air come by my head. Well, I know what that was. Somebody was coming in late. Always going to be somebody coming in late. Well, I felt it was my duty to see who it was. So I turned around, you know. Well, y'all, I do not know who that lady was coming in at the front door of the church. But I wished y'all could have seen her. Ooh, I'm telling you, whoever she was, she had done and took and piled her hair up here on top of her head. And she must have put it up there with starch and water. Because ain't no wind blowed her hair. It was stiff. And y'all, I'm going to tell you, I didn't want to stare. But I told you it turned off cold up there. And there's this here great big old red tomcat. And he lays down there on the steps at the general store. And in the wintertime, he gets fuzzy, you know. If I hadn't known better, I'd have swore that old woman had stopped and grabbed that old tomcat up and rocked him around her neck. Yeah! Well, y'all, she come a-walking down that aisle, and she sat down right side of me. Ooh, now, I'm trying to keep my mind on church. But she smelled like a whole wagon load of honeysuckle on a summer evening. Ooh, I'm telling you. She smelled like that woman that comes over the mountain from Deloniger that sells that there Avon stuff. And whatever that thing was she had rocked around her neck, it was Dade. Yeah. It had two little beady black eyes right here, and they were staring right at me. Ooh, I'm telling you, and its little mouth had grabbed its tail. Yeah, I'm telling you, that thing was spooky looking. And I mean, she looked like she had done and took blue smut and rubbed it all over her eyes. Yeah, I mean, looked like somebody had bruised her up. And she had some things hanging in her ears. And y'all, they had been hanging there so long, they had done and wored holes in her hair. Yeah, I ain't never seen that. And you know, since she was a visitor and everything, I was just going to say something real nice to her, you know. And I looked at her, and I said, "Lady, did you know them things you got hanging in your ears have done and wored holes in them?" Well, you would not believe that anybody what looked that pretty could sound that ugly. I mean, she ain't no more let me get my arm up good. She looked at me and she said, "Well, I beg your pardon, sir, but I do believe that one of our deodorants is not working." Yeah, that's what she said to me. Well, I told y'all, I'm pretty quick sometimes. I looked at her and I said, well, ma'am, it must be yours. Because I do not use that stuff. Well, about that time, I heard some noise back at the front door. Well, I'm about gun shy by this time, you know. But I turned around and looked, and there was our choir coming in at the front door of the church. The preacher had them lined up, coming down that middle aisle of the church. Y'all, he had done put every one of them in a red nightshirt. Yeah, every one of them had on a red nightshirt. He lined them up. They'd come down that middle aisle. You could look at that choir and you could tell they thought they was important tonight. Yeah. Looked like a bunch of little young'uns headed out to recess. Well, I told y'all a while ago, them music folk, they act like they know something we don't know. Y'all, they do. Yeah, they got their own music words. They use them on one another. And they even got their own sign language. Sure do. That choir, he got them up there in the choir loft, lined up. And every one of them at the same time went like this here. You know why they done that? That preacher stood up there in front of me. He said, smile, smile. They done like that there. Well, all at once, he throwed up both his hands like this here. And then he looked at that choir and he said, pianissimo, y'all. That's right, that's some of that music talk I was telling y'all about. Pianissimo, y'all. I didn't believe it myself. And I was sitting right there and I heard it. Pianissimo, y'all. That's some of them music words. Couldn't be no more than 4 little words. Pianissimo, y'all. I don't care how you look at it. But them 4 little words now, best as I can figure from what went on. He was telling them, y'all sang out loud enough for everybody in here to hear you, but just barely. In other words, give me the least you can get by with. Then he looked over at Miss Bessie, what plays our piano, and he gave her one of these little numbers. That means heist me a note. Miss Bessie, she heisted him a note. And that choir, they pianissimo y'all out up there. They said, and the angels lit the candles. Ooh, y'all, he had that choir singing in harmonica. He did. And I felt these little chilling bumps crawling all over me. And I thought, somebody in this church house is going to pass out. When them little boys come out flopping them great big white angel wings, they going to be done in thought hits the rupture. Yeah, they are. But didn't no little boys come out, y'all. They didn't. They didn't come out. So he's still standing up there waiting. And in a minute, he gives the choir this. That there is a music knock it off. So the choir knocked it off. And he looked at him and he said, this here great big crowd is soaking up our singing. So we're going to have to crescendo here. Now crescendo here. I figure that means to sing out louder than you was a while ago but not too much yet. In other words, keep holding back. So he give Miss Bessie another one of these. And Miss Bessie come over and hoisted him another note. And that choir, they crescendoed out up there. And the angels lit the candles. Sure enough, them lights was going out. But still, they weren't no little boys a-coming. Well, he's getting real worried about this time. He didn't know what was going on. So he looked at the choir, and he gave them a worried knock it off this time. And he looked at that choir, and he hollered at them, "Fortissimo!" Now don't forget that there. That fortissimo is about the most importantest thing you can say in music talk. When he hollered out that at the choir, I believe he was telling them, "Give me everything you got right now." Because when he hollered out at the choir and hollered fortissimo, he looked over at Miss Bessie and he flung her a whole arm that time. And Miss Bessie come over and she hoisted him a whole passel of notes. Notes Miss Bessie ain't never hoisted on that kind. Well, that choir fortissimo'd out up there. And the angels lit the candles. Well, y'all, the lights went out. Honey, we was sitting there in pitch dark. And that's when it happened. Y'all ain't gonna believe what happened in our church. One of them little boys' mama was laid out. They was fanning her with that funeral home parlor fan, trying to bring her to. Any of y'all know anything about little boys? Especially them kind what ain't got no exhibitions. You know, whatever comes up, comes out. Tell it like it is, you know. Well, all them lights went out. It was pitch dark. And that choir had fortissimo'd out up there. It was dark and quiet as a mouse. Couldn't see nothing. But you could hear them two little boys, and they was fortissimoing back to the preacher back there behind the choir loft. And the rats peed on all our badges. It was terrible. I mean, we got them lights back on. We told our new preacher if he wanted to last longer than old Ledbetter did, he better not never mention no Christmas can talk. You know, I don't like to see somebody get up and try to show out how much they know. He was just showing out. He knowed all that music talk. All that music, and I didn't know none of that stuff. And when y'all come out here today, y'all didn't expect y'all knowed much either, did you? Y'all didn't come out here expecting to learn a thing, did you? Well, you have done learned a whole heap more than you thought you would. Now just think about what you have learned today. That pianissimo, y'all. Sing out just barely. Give me the least you can get by with. And that crescendo here, give me a little bit more, but keep a holding back. And then that fortissimo is give me everything you got right now. Well, y'all, the preacher did have it right. We ain't going to tell him, though. It's true about music, but it's true about people, too. And especially it's true about people. I hope they ain't no pianissimo y'alls among you. I mean, they are one of us, but just barely. You know what I mean. You see them at work, you see them at the courthouse, you see them at the post office, you see them in church. They're the ones you can look at them and tell they got up this morning a-thinking, what is the least I can get by with today? And then them crescendo hearers, they ain't much better. Did you ever see folks that you know there was more to them if they just come on and do it? Just make a commitment and do something. But they're always holding back. They don't want to commit themselves to nothing. I like them fortissimos. That's what y'all are. That's why you here today. Fortissimos. They give it everything they got. Have you ever noticed they're the happiest people that you'll ever meet? It's like they know who they are, they like who they are, and they give it all they got. Them pianissimo y'alls, they complain, they criticize, they find fault, condemn, cut down. Them fortissimos, they are committed. Now some of us ain't got a whole lot left to commit, but we gonna commit what little we got left, you know. But when the good Lord made every one of us, He cut us out of a fortissimo pattern. It sure weren't no simplicity. He made us in His image. And the good Lord is the biggest fortissimo of all. And He made us just like Him. And He sent His Son, and He breathed the breath of life in us. And we're to be just like the good Lord, and to follow in His footsteps and the footsteps of His Son. And if we are anything less than a fortissimo, it's our doings. It ain't the good Lord's. Right. Because the good Lord blesses us every day. And He gives us everything we need to be a fortissimo for Him. And I know y'all are fortissimos, or you wouldn't be here today. And we got us a fortissimo in a preacher, but we can't let him get too big of a head up our, let his head blow up too big. So I'm going to get back up our to the hills so we can try to keep him straight, But when y'all come up to Possum Gap, I told you how to get there, man. Y'all come up there to Possum Gap, you stop and see us, and we'll let you go to church with us, and you won't have to listen to no Christmas cantata. And we always keep a possum or a coon in the trap. And we had some sweet taters in the cellar. And we'll put on a feed for you too. So y'all come now. We want to see you. Thank you.